All right, it's almost 6:25 on your Monday morning, but that means it's time to take a look at your money. So for many Americans, the stock market is considered one of the greatest generators of wealth. Based on annual performance returns of the S&P 500, when dividends are reinvested,
A $10,000 investment in the S&P 500 in January 1980 would now be worth more than $1.5 million at today's prices. But how many Americans are actually invested in the U.S. stock market? The results might surprise you.
and we've got financial advisor Mark Rovacheski joining us live in studio to break it down. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well, thank you. Happy Monday to both of you. Good to see you again.
Yes, happy Monday, and it's always great to see you as well.
Let's get right into this. What
Yep.
percentage of Americans actually invest in the stock market?
Well, each year, Gallup does a survey to try to answer that very question. Last year, 62% of Americans said they own stock. That's just shy of the all-time record high of 63%. Now, ownership is broadly defined and includes owning individual stocks and mutual funds and ETFs, but also includes stocks held in various retirement accounts like an IRA, 401k, 457b, and many other type of similar retirement accounts. But look, today is just a completely different world than when I was your age back in the 1980s and 1990s. More and more companies have gone away from, those formal pension plans like maybe your parents or your grandparents once had, and more towards these individual plans like a 401k. And with today's technology, buying stocks is much, much easier for that everyday average American. Today, you can buy stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, literally while you're downstairs sitting on your couch, watching television on your laptop or even on your cell phone. It's just a completely different world today.
Yeah, so how does this level of stock ownership that you were just talking about, how does that compare among different demographics in our country?
Stock ownership, to your point, does vary significantly amongst the various income, age, and educational demographics. 87% of high-income households are invested in the stock market. Now, that drops to 71% for middle-income households. Still a very high level of participation, but then by comparison, that drops further to just 28% for low-income households. 84% of college graduates say they currently own stocks, but that drops to 42% for non-college graduates. The age demographic with the highest rate of stock ownership, Americans aged 50 to 64 at 72%. By comparison, though, the age demographic with the lowest rate of participation, not much of a surprise here, American aged 18 through 29. They're just kind of starting their career at just 44%.
And what do you say to younger people, especially those younger Americans who aren't yet participating in the stock market?
Look, in today's world, more and more companies are offering some type of retirement plan for their employees. And as an employee, the earlier you start saving for your retirement, the better off you're going to be down the road. Look, I've always believed the stock market is the single greatest builder of wealth in this country. But you have to treat the stock market as a long-term engine to build that wealth rather than as some type of short-term solution to simply try and raise some quick cash. Because in the short term, as we've seen, the stock market can be extremely unpredictable and subject to these big up and down swings in their prices.
Starting earlier is key, it sounds like.
Earlier the better, absolutely. Let that money grow and build for you over time.
All right, well, that's some wonderful advice, Mark, and thank you so much, as always, for joining us today. We had a wonderful time having you in studio with us.
Great to be here again, as always. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next Monday.
Yeah, see you.
See you then.